Are genetically modified crops a solution to India's agricultural prosperity? India is predominantly an agricultural economy, with the agricultural sector providing employment and subsistence to almost two-thirds of the workforce. There have been some remarkable contributions from the agricultural sector to food grain production in the last 6 decades, when from a meager 50 million tons in the 1950s, the country has been able to produce a record of 240 million tons in 2010-2011. Despite these achievements, the condition of farming community is miserable, considering that 70% of our farmers are small and marginal. There is a complete absence of pro-farmer, pro-agricultural policies, which has led us to an environment to very severe agrarian distress. In this situation, food security has been one of the main agenda for the government. There is a strong opinion among officials that biotechnology holds a lot of promise in achieving food security and is a sustainable way forward. Genetically modified, that is GM crops, are one such method. Genetically modified are plants whose DNA has been modified using genetic engineering techniques to resist pests and agents causing harm to plants and to improve the growth of these plants to assist in farmers' efficiency. In India, the only commercialized genetically modified crop is BT cotton. Industry and the central government have painted a picture of success about it, saying it has led to an increase in production and that the costs of cultivation have gone down. But the ground reality is different. This was evident during the extensive interactions of the Supreme Court appointed Technical Expert Committee with farmers in different cotton growing regions around the country during study visits in March 2012. Besides analyzing the facts and figures provided by the government agencies and listening to eminent cotton scientists, the committee held consultation with the farmers in Vidarbha. This helped it to conclude that the BT cotton is not what it is made out to be. In Vidarbha, the per acre investment in cultivating traditional varieties or even pre-BT hybrids could be less than rupees 10,000. That was certainly the case until the first half of the previous decade. But for BT cotton, even the unirrigated farmer is spending upward of 15,000 to 18,000 rupees or even more per acre. And irrigated farmers complain of input costs exceeding 45,000 rupees per acre. While the investment and acreage rose dramatically, the per acre yield and income did not increase in equal measure. It actually fell after initial years. It was clear that at least for the rain-fed cotton farmers of our country, the introduction of BT cotton offered no socio-economic benefits. On the contrary, it being capital-intensive practice, the investment of farmers increased, thus exposing them to greater risks due to massive indebtedness. It needs to be remembered that rain-fed farmers constitute 85% of all cotton-growing farmers. Added to this, there is desperation among farmers as introduction of BT cotton has slowly led to the non-availability of traditional varieties of cotton. The cultivation of GM crops also leads to monopoly, and the committee has witnessed its clear disadvantages. The decade of experience has shown that BT cotton has benefited the seed industry and not benefited the poorest of farmers. It has actually aggravated the agricultural distress and farmer suicides. This should be a clear message to policymakers on the impact of GM crops on farming and livelihoods associated with it. From the various discussions and proceedings of committee, it is clear that the technology of genetic engineering is an evolving one and there is much that is yet to be understood properly. The scientific community itself seems uncertain about this. While there are many in this community who feel that the benefits outweigh the risks, others point to the irreversibility of this technology of the genetically modified organisms once introduced in the ecosystem. Hence, they advocate a precautionary approach towards any open release of GMOs.